So it actually did take a few days to discover that I had pneumonia. This was about 5 years ago, when I was 11 years old. I was on the swim team. But yeah, I did realize that it got harder and harder to swim every day. And I couldn't understand why. That it just was harder to breathe for some reason. I mean, I didn't notice that until probably over a week. And well, I kind of tried to get out of a swimming day. And when I told my parents that, they were like, okay, we're going to the doctor. And I was like, oh shoot, because I didn't actually know that I was sick. And unbeknownst to me, yeah, I got tested positive for pneumonia. And if you know me, I have the absolute worst fear of needles. And they were trying to give me a shot. And I just refused everywhere I could. And eventually they just had to give me pills, like antibiotics for my lungs. It was mostly in my right lung. And the only symptom I had was just hard breathing. That's all it was. I understand if it was like more critical, if the sickness just sat there for a longer amount of time, then it would be even harder to breathe. But literally, that was the only symptom I had. That and low energy. I definitely had a lot of low energy. And it did kind of suck, but it did have its bright sides, weirdly enough. I didn't have to go to swim practice anymore. But yeah, but there was this mini job that I had called Camp Jeremiah Johnson. It's no longer a thing anymore. And I wasn't old enough to actually get a steady paycheck. But the paycheck, if I was 14, the paycheck would be like something horrible like $20 every 14 hours. It was pretty much like the Industrial Revolution. But it was even more like the Industrial Revolution because I didn't get paid at all. In fact, it was more like slavery, except I signed up for it. Anyways, that's not the point. I got to quit Jeremiah Johnson because I had pneumonia. So in different perspectives, getting pneumonia, it sucked, but at the same time, I got to get out of some things that I didn't want to do. Like Camp Jeremiah Johnson and swimming practice. It was in the middle of the summer, so I got to do whatever the heck I wanted. But yeah, so the pneumonia lasted about 3 weeks, and I didn't have to miss any school, which was even better because it was in the middle of summer, which we already addressed. And it turns out the very next year, I caught pneumonia again, because since I got it one time already, I was more vulnerable to it. And I just want to address something real quick. What are the freaking chances that an 11-year-old healthy boy in the middle of summer catches pneumonia? I mean, the only explanation I have was, like, I don't know if this is even a logical explanation, but I'm guessing, like, the amount of swimming I was doing, the amount of breath that I was holding over long periods of time, did that, I guess? I have no idea how pneumonia really works. I know it's bacterial, so it's not fatal. But that's literally the only explanation I have, I bet. But yeah, enough about that. The question that we're going to address is Bloody A Bedless 2/70X or A60. So you have no idea what that terminology even means. That is two different types of mice. Not the pet mice, obviously, but gaming mice. And I actually have no experience with the Bloody A Bedless 2/70X because the only mouse I have used for over 2.5 years is the Bloody A60. So hands down, the Bloody A60 is better, just accept the tragic turn of events. And I have considered getting a Model O just because it's lighter. I actually don't know how exactly heavy the Bloody A60 is, but I'm so used to it by now. Maybe I'll get one for Christmas. Oh, Merry Christmas, by the way, guys. Unfortunately, I'm actually not having Christmas on Christmas Day. I'm having it on Christmas Eve. You guys, I will be getting a phone. You guys, I have not had a phone for 16.5 years, and Christmas Eve is the day where I get one. Feels good. You guys have probably noticed that I am sick, so I'm not sick with pneumonia, it's just the flu going around the city, and it does kind of suck. I got symptoms earlier this week, and now they're worse symptoms than they were last week. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. HackerOne was the silly goose.